Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video, I will show you how to integrate the Google Play Integrity API inside native Android application. So let's get started. In case if you don't know what is the Google Play Integrity API, it is used to test the integrity of your app. What it means is that suppose if you have a app which accepts payments, and now I only want those users to access payments who have downloaded the app from Google Play services or from Google Play console or Google Play Store, whatever you want to call it. If my app is pirated and it has been downloaded from a pirated software, I don't want the user to proceed in my app or in my game. This can be applied to a game as well. So that's what the advantage of Google Play Integrity API is. So yeah, let's get started how to do this. I will now This is a pretty comprehensive tutorial. I will try to show as much as I can. We require a backend as well, so I'll try to show you the backend as well. So yeah, let's get started. And the thing which you see on my screen right now is just a cheat sheet which I have created because there are a lot of steps. I tend to forget all the steps, that's why I have created this. So let's get started. So first, now for my backend, I will be using something called Next.js. If you already familiar with Next.js, you might be wondering, okay, it is not a backend framework, it is a front-end framework, which I completely agree. The reason why I'm using Next.js is because I need to deploy our backend to some hosting provider, and Vercel is the creator of Next.js, and they provide a free tier without registering any credit card or debit card. Again, this video is not sponsored by Vercel. It's just that I'm more familiar with Next.js, and given that Next.js is a full stack framework, you can create backend APIs with it as well. If you're familiar with Node.js with Express, you can use that as well. If you're familiar with Java Spring Boot, you can use that as well. So it's up to you what you want to use it. So first, what we'll have to do is we'll have to go to Google Cloud Project. So here I'm inside my Cloud Project, Google Cloud Console, whatever you want to call it. Okay, and then we'll have to create a new project. So we can just click on this. Okay, how do I create a new project? Just go to Google Cloud Platform, I guess. Where is the option to create a new project? Okay, I think I will have to click on this drop down, click on this new project option. Okay, and I'll just name it as Sunday project. I mean, you should give it some proper name. The reason I'm giving this, okay, I will just rename it. I may just say, I will just say something like this, Nomadic Nest, because yeah, feel free to use whatever name you feel like. I'll just click on create, let the project get created. uh, okay, once the project is created, we have to enable the Google Play Integrity API. So I'll just click on select project. Also for this tutorial, you will require Google Play console. You need to purchase access to Google Play console, which I think is around $10 at the time of me recording, and it is a lifetime membership. So you don't have to worry about renewing it again and again. So yeah, that is also required. So here is our project. Make sure you have selected your project from this drop down. Once you select your project, you can just go to API and services, and here click on enable API and services, and here you can just search for Play Integrity. I'll click on search. Here is our Google Play Integrity API. Click on it, and I will enable this API. Okay, so this API has been enabled. Again, this will take a little bit of time, so let it do its thing. Then we have to go to project settings and get the cloud project number. Okay, so this cloud project number we will be using from our native Android application. So we just go to click on this three dot, go to project settings, and here is my project number. So I'll just copy this project number for now. I will be using it later on, so I'll just paste it over here. Do copy your own project number because I will be deleting this project completely. So don't try to copy my project number, it will not work for you. Okay, then we have to go to this particular URL for creating a service account. So just copy this and paste it in a new tab. Then over here we have to enable the API, so I'll just click on enable the API button. Alright, then over here again make sure your proper project has been selected from Google Cloud Console or Google Cloud Platform. So make sure your proper project is selected and then click on next over here, then click on enable the API. So this will enable the API as well. Okay, so we have done this. Then we have to go to this particular URL. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it in a new tab. So again on this tab, make sure your proper project is selected from the drop down. So mine is selected. Then here you will have to click on IMA and admin. So I've clicked on it. Then we have to click service accounts, right? So let's just come over here, click on service accounts over here, and here we'll have to click on create a service account, and here you can give it whatever name you feel like. My service account. Okay, it's up to you what you want to give it name, and here you can just click on create and continue. Here you will have to select some role. I'll give it as owner role, currently used owner. Okay, I'll click on continue. If you want to add more roles for different email IDs, you can do that as well. And here this is an optional field, so I'll just click on done. Once this is done, select owner. Okay, then we have to click on the three dots, click on manage keys. Okay, and here you will have to click on add a key, create a new key, type is of JSON, click on create, and here you can see it has automatically downloaded this JSON file for me. So keep this JSON file handy because we will be using this JSON file from our backend application as well. So be careful with that, don't delete that file. Okay, now what I will do, the next step is I will create a Nest.js application, sorry, Next.js, not Nest, Next.js. Again, like I told you, the only reason I'm using Next.js, it is because we need to deploy it somewhere, like on a cloud provider. I don't have an AWS or a Google Cloud GCP account or an Azure account. I'm just going to use Vercel, and Next.js is a full stack framework, so you can create backend APIs with it as well. And given that it is a full stack framework, this syntax which we will be writing for our APIs in Next.js is very similar to Express.js. So if you are familiar with that, you can directly use it. But if you already have a cloud provider account with you, you don't need to use Next.js. You can use anything like Node.js with Express, Java, Spring Boot, C#, .NET, whatever you feel comfortable with. But I'm just more comfortable with Next.js, that's why I'm using this. So I'll just copy this account, and it's very easy to deploy a Next.js application to Vercel. So again, I'm not going to show you the deployment part. All you need to do is, once you create your Next.js application, you need to push it to GitHub. Then just go to vercel.com, create an account if you don't have it, and just link, like you will, while creating the account, you will have to select GitHub. And then you can automatically import your repository inside Vercel, and it will automatically deploy it for you and give some random base URL, given that we are using a free credit account. Okay, so anyways, what I'll do is I'll just open my terminal. Okay, now if you see over here, I have just created one sample play integrity folder, empty folder, because this folder will contain both the Android project as well as the backend application. That's why I've created one single folder. You don't need to do this, it's just for my own simplicity. So I'll just cd to that particular folder, and then I'll just run this particular command. So I'll just remove this, and here I will just name it as my backend. Okay, and I'll just click on enter. Let it do its thing. Now it will ask me a few questions, so let's just wait for that. So I want to use TypeScript, I want to use ESLint, I don't want Tailwind CSS, I want the src directory, I want app router, I don't want TurboPack, and I don't want import alias as well. So this question might differ a little bit, doesn't like, none of this makes sense for us. Only thing which is important is make sure you use TypeScript if you are following my Next.js tutorial as well. So the next thing is, what I will do is I will just open this Next.js application inside VS Code. Okay, and I will also, here is my cheat sheet as well. So the first thing which we have, again, now this will take a little bit of time to do the node modules installation. Let it do its thing. In the meantime, what we have to do to create an backend API, all we need to do is just go to the src, go to the app folder, and here you have to write API. So this folder name is very important. You have to name it as API, and inside that you can create whatever folder name you want. I will just name it as users. You can name it whatever you feel like, but do remember this folder name because your URL will differ. Then you will have to make changes in your native Android application as well. So if you're doing this for the very first time, it's better you follow what I'm doing. Then inside users, we have to create a file called route.ts. Okay, and also if you remember, we had this JSON file downloaded. So I will just drag and drop this JSON file inside the root of our application. Okay, so that is also important. Make sure you drag and drop inside the root of your application. So again, I'll just go to route.ts over here. Now I need to copy some code, so I'll just copy some code and come back. All right, so I have written down all the required code which is necessary. Before I show you the code, we need to install this particular Google Auth library. So just go to your project. Here first we will have to cd to our backend application which we have created, and then just do npm install Google Auth library. So let's just wait for this to finish. So yeah, this is done. Now again, before I show you guys the code, now first let's create an Android application as well, because this backend application requires the package name of our Android application. So I'll just open Android Studio. I'm using XML layout. If you want, you can use Jetpack Compose as well. This doesn't really matter. The reason is because we will only have 3 buttons. So I'll just show you that's the only reason I'm using XML layout. Feel free to use Jetpack Compose if you feel like. I'll just click on next. Now make sure you give your application some proper name, because don't give it some like any random name, because we need to deploy this application to Google Play console. That is the only way we can test Google Play Integrity API as well. So I have some name which I asked ChatGPT, so you can do that same. So I will just name it as Nomadic Nest. Okay, and I'll just change the location to my folder which I have created, Play Integrity, over here. Okay, and I'll just do this as well. Okay, and this is my package name. Again, give some proper package name because that is also important, and then I'll just click on finish. Let's just wait for this to get set up. Now if you remember, so this Gradle syncing will take a little bit of time, but you can just go to build.gradle.kts, and here you can see this is my package name. So I have the package name with me. So now let's go back to VS Code, go to route.ts. So firstly, let's see the code. So there will be 2 APIs, one to create an hash, so our Android application will have a button to get an hash. So it will call this get API endpoint, which will create an hash and send it back to our Android application. Next, we will have this verify hash button as well, which includes the Google Play Integrity API call as well, which I will show you in a bit. So there are 2 API endpoints. Just remember that. And here firstly we are importing Google Auth library. Then here is our crypto dependency, which is from Node.js itself, and this is part dependency is also from Node.js. So here is our get API endpoint. So this is how we create a get API endpoint in Next.js API route handlers. So this is my secret key. Again, give it some move this to environment variables if you want to, and this is my timestamp. Then with the help of this crypto module, I am creating a SHA-256 secret key, and here I'm just updating some timestamp. Okay, and creating in hex format. Like depending on what programming language you are using, this will differ, so make sure you use whatever is right for you. And then I'm just returning back the hash back to native Android side. Okay, then once the native Android application has this particular hash, they will again send it to our backend API. So this post endpoint will get called, from which firstly we will be getting this token. I will show you from where. So this token is from the Google Play Integrity library, which I will show you in a bit. Okay, once we have this token, then we need to pass the path of our JSON file which we have just added, right? So here you can just name it whatever is the name of your file. So for me it is nomadic nest dash c5, so this one bb1 c00a87.json. so again, this should be in the root of your project, Next.js project, if you're following what I'm doing. Then here should be your Android package name, so I'll just paste my package name. So this is my package name. Then here we just have to create a Google Auth like a constructor, pass our key file path, pass the scope for it. Then here we create a client. Now this all code I have just copied it from the documentation. If you want, you can go through the documentation. Here we get the access token. Then here we have to generate a URL. Again, this should be your own package name, which we are passing it over here as a variable. So this basically calls the Google Play Integrity API. And here then we just pass the URL. So here I'm making a fetch call. It is of type post, and we are passing the token, so which we get from this access token. And here we pass the token which we send from our native Android application with the help of the Google Play Integrity library. And then we just check the integrity. Then here we get the JSON, and then whatever JSON response we get, we return it back to Android side. So I will show you that JSON in a bit, but that's it from the backend side. So basically now what I will do is I will just push this code to GitHub and then import it inside Vercel, and Vercel will automatically create a base URL for me. So suppose my base URL is abc.com. Okay, so to call this particular API, it will be abc.com/API/users. Okay, so if it is a GET request which we are calling from native Android application, this will get called. If it is a POST request, this will get called. So hopefully this makes sense to you. So yeah, whatever is your domain, abc.com or whatever xyz.com/API/users, and you should be able to call this two APIs which we have created. Not necessary to deploy it on Vercel. You can deploy it on any cloud provider, whatever you feel like. But yeah, that's it. So I'll deploy it offline. I'm not going to show you that deployment part. It's pretty basic. Just push it to GitHub, then sign up on Vercel using GitHub, and then import your repository in GitHub from GitHub in Vercel, and it will automatically deploy it for you. Okay, next we'll have to come to the Android application part. Now here, like I mentioned, we will have to create 3 buttons. The reason is because we'll need to deploy this application to Google Play Console. Now in Google Play Console, we will deploying it to internal testing, so that we don't have to upload, like if you want to create an app on Google Play Console, you have to upload the image, thumbnail, feature, graphics, screenshots, all that stuff. But we won't be doing that. We will be directly deploying it to internal testing. So that is the advantage of internal testing, is you don't have to do all the necessary steps which you have to do for deploying it to production, to actual users. And once you deploy it to internal testing as well, Google won't verify your app, and it would be available to your testers and to you within half an hour to 1 hour. So that's the other advantage as well. And one more thing is, given like I mentioned, there will be 3 buttons. So first button would be for viewing the terms and conditions. So I have noticed that sometimes your app from internal testing do get rejected if you don't have the terms and conditions screen. So that's why I will be creating one button, and on click of it we will just open a terms and conditions. So here you can write whatever terms and conditions you have for your own app. We will just open a web browser and it will display a web page. Okay, second button to call the get API which we have created for getting the hash, and third API for doing the post request to verify whether the app has been actually downloaded from Google Play Store or not. So hopefully you got the point. Let's see, now I will be copying some code, and based on that you can do the same thing. Okay, so the first thing which you have to do is you will just have to open this Gradle scripts, and here you will have to go to build.gradle.kts. You just have to scroll down over here, and you have to add these 3 lines of code. So first one is the Play Integrity API, which we need to generate the token and send it back to our backend API. So that is very important. Second one is retrofit. So this is a retrofit. So this is for making API calls to our backend API If you want to use Ktor, feel free to use Ktor as well. And third one is JSON. So we need to have proper data Kotlin class for our JSON response, right? That's why I'm using JSON, but feel free to use if there is any other thing which you are comfortable with. Then you just click on sync now. It will download the dependencies for us. Then go to app manifest android manifest.xml, and here we also need to add the internet permission. So I will just go to uses permission, and here I'll just add internet, so this one, and I'll close this as well. Next, like I mentioned, we'll need to add 3 buttons inside our activity underscore main. If you are using Jetpack Compose, you can do that as well. So I'll just remove this particular text view. I don't really want this. Okay, so the next thing is I'll just paste the code which I have. So I'll just show it to you. I will show the preview view as well. So here you can see first I have created one button for viewing the terms and condition. Now this is only for so that my app does not get rejected from the internal testing of Google Play Console. Second one is for getting the hash. So on click of this button we will call the get API endpoint which we have. Second, and one is for verifying. Now again this verify, just this verify button. Okay, so I have just this text called verify, and last one is text view. So whatever response we get from the post API, I'm just displaying it inside our text view so that I can show you the full response which is there. The full response will tell you whether the app was downloaded it from Google Play Console or not. So yeah, that's what this is. Next we need to create few folders. So we just go to Kotlin plus Java and come over here, because the reason we need to create few folders is for the response type which we get from get as well as post APIs which we have created. So here just create one folder called request. Okay, and we'll create one more folder called response, not image asset, sorry, cancel. I want a folder directory, I mean package, sorry, response. Okay, so the first file which we need to create inside our request is, so for get API endpoint we are not sending anything from native Android application, but for the post API endpoint, if you remember, we are sending the token, right? So for that we need to create one file called verify hash request. So again you can name this file whatever you feel like, but it's better you follow, if you're doing this for the very first time, it's better you follow what I'm doing. Now here I have created a data class which takes a token, so we will be sending this token to the post API endpoint from native Android application. So that's why I have created this particular class. Okay, next we need to create the response file as well. So I will just go to our response folder, right click, new Kotlin file class, and here I will just name it as verify hash response. Now again this is for the post API endpoint. I'll come back to the get API endpoint in a bit. Now the post API endpoint output is little bit weird. So here I have created this file called verify hash response, and it will have a message of string. Now this particular data class of message, so once we get the response from our post request, we will typecast it to this particular message. Some of you might be wondering, okay, just write message over here, right? This did not really work. Maybe it is a skill issue from my side or lack of knowledge, but once I show you guys the actual code, maybe it will make sense for you. If you have a better way, do let me know in the comments. But basically once we get the response from the post API, we will convert it, it will be in form of string, then we will typecast this string to this particular message object. Okay, so that's what this is. Now here you can just copy paste all this code which I have written. So this will help, this all things will help us to verify whether the response is in proper format or not, like whether the app has been downloaded from Google Play Console or not. So you can just copy paste all this code which I have written. Next we need to create the response for our get API as well. The thing which I want to clarify is before I show you the get request part, some of you might be wondering why I'm writing message over here. The reason is because if you go to our route.ts, if you go to the response type, here you can see I'm passing it, the key is message. That's why I have to use message over here as well. Now coming back to the response of our get API endpoint, just right click, new Kotlin class file, name it as get hash response. Okay, and I will just paste some data class again. If you see, I'm just using this message because while sending the data back, the key name is message. That's why I'm using message over here as well. So that is very important. All right, so the next thing which we need to do is we need to create a network service class as well, because we are using retrofit. So I'll just right click, new Kotlin class file. I'll name it as network service. Okay, and I'll just paste in some code. Now first I'll add this import. Okay, so here you can see this is our network service class. Now our API endpoints for our get API slash user, we will be writing the base URL in the main activity. I'm not using any dependency injection, so if you want you can use it. I don't want to overcomplicate this tutorial. And second one is verify hash. So we will be sending this verify hash request and we will get the verify hash response. Okay, so I think the setup is done. Now we can just go to our main activity. Now again, inside our main activity we'll have to write some code. So I will just copy paste that code and come back. Okay guys, so I have written down all the code which is required. So firstly, you can just copy paste the imports which you are seeing on the screen. So these are all the imports which I have. Now here for this two imports you will have to change it to your own package name. So change this to your own package name, as well as change this to your own package name. Don't try to copy my package name, otherwise it will give you an error. So these are all the imports. Then if you see, we have created the standard integrity manager. Now some of you just want to clear one thing out. This Google, whenever we are making to this API call to this Google Play integrity API, I think it is 10,000 requests per day which are free. But if you want to update that, then you will have to check the documentation. I think that is a paid feature. Later on you will have to pay Google for that, according to me. But at least for now we can use the free feature. I think it is 10,000 requests per day. I could be wrong, just check the documentation on that. So it is not entirely free if you have billions of users. Okay, so the next thing, I have just get hold of our standard integrity manager, and here we need to get hold of our integrity token provider as well. This is our project name, so you should write your own project cloud project number. So if you remember, I had copied my project number inside my cheat sheet. That's what I'm using it over here. Then we need to create our API request. So this is how we do in retrofit. So we just create an OK HTTP client.builder, connect timeout, read timeout, and build. Then we use retrofit.builder, pass our OK HTTP client. Now this is my base URL. Do not copy my base URL. It will not work for you because I will be removing this base URL. And the second very important thing is, do not forget this trailing slash. So whatever is your base URL, you need to add the trailing slash over here. Otherwise again you will keep wondering why this API requests are not working for you. Then here is our JSON factory converter. Here is our network service. This is the hash which we will get from our get call, which I will show you later on. Then here is our text view. So we will initialize it soon. Again, this text view will only show the response from our post API. So here is our text view. So we are just initializing our text view. Here we are initializing the integrity manager factory.create standard, so standard integrity manager. Then as soon as inside on create, we are preparing a token. So we just do prepare integrity token. So standard integrity manager dot prepare integrity token request dot builder, and here we are setting our cloud project number and calling build. Then adding a success listener as well as a failure listener. So once we have the success listener, we just assign it to our integrity token provider. In case of any error, I just display a toast message, but you can handle it in a much better way. And then on the first button click, which is the terms and conditions, again I'm just opening my terms and conditions page, so you can just open your own terms and conditions. Again, you can display terms and conditions button wherever you feel like inside your application. I have just given our app is simple, I have just created a simple button. Maybe it will be inside your settings of your application, so yeah, you can do that as well. Then here is the get hash button. So on click of it, basically we just call the get hash method which we defined. If you see over here, this is the get hash method which we define inside our network service. and it will give us the response, and whatever response we get, so it will basically contain the hash. I just assign it to our variable, and here I just tell okay got hash inside a toast message. Then the next thing is for verifying the hash. So once this particular button is clicked, we just do integrity token provider dot request, and here we just do standard integrity token request dot builder, pass our hash which we got from our get API endpoint. Then we just do lifecycle scope dot launch, and then we do retrofit dot verify hash, and then we pass the response token which we have just got from this integrity token response. Okay, and so we are passing this token to our post API endpoint, and once we get the response, if you remember, it is form of string, I guess. It is in form of verify hash response, which has this message property in form of string. So that's why I'm creating a JSON object. So now this message is from our this particular data class which we have created. So make sure you have the right import, because there are a lot of message properties or variables in other Android OS libraries as well, so don't get confused. And then we just do json dot from JSON, pass our API response dot message, and we just convert this string to the message class. If you remember, just to show it to you, the message class which we had over here, which has this all this data. Okay, so that's what we are doing over here. If you have a better way, do let me know in the comments. And then we just do message object dot token payload external dot app integrity. Like I'm just interested in this app integrity stuff, this one. So if you see, it has this app recognition verdict, package name, certification SHA-256, as well as version code. But if you want, you can just look for this all these values as well. So yeah, it's up to you whether you want that. And then once we have this, what I will do is, again, from this particular app integrity, you can have specific values as well. So if you see, we have the version code, package name, app recognition verdict, and certification SHA-256. But what I will do is, I will just convert it to string, because I want to show you guys everything. Okay, and we don't really need this, so I'll just close this, remove this. And here I have one failure listener as well, and on failure we just call this toast message. Now what first thing I will do is, I will directly run it from Android Studio. Now if I directly run it from Android Studio, again, test it on a real device, do not test it on the emulator. If I directly run it from Android Studio, it's basically like running a pirated version, right? Because we have not downloaded the app from Google Play Store. This is not exactly a pirated version, but hopefully you got the point that this is not from Google Play Store. So once we call the verify hash, we will get the hash from our backend. But when we try to call the post request, and here once we get the data, you will see one variable which says that app not recognized, something like that, which means that the app has not been downloaded from Google Play Store. So that's the indication to you that the app is not downloaded from Google Play Store. And if there is some sensitive operation, like if you are awarding some coins to your user, you should not do that. So here is our response. So I will just click on get hash. Hopefully I should be able to see. So here I am able to see a toast message saying got hash. So I have received the hash. Now I will try to verify the hash. So here you can see that this app recognition verdict unrecognized version. So that means this app has not been downloaded it from Google Play Store. So you can block the user or display some modal or a toast message or whatever you feel like is correct for your app, preventing the user from proceeding ahead inside your application. So typically inside your application you won't have this buttons, right? Get hash and verify hash. Maybe you will all do all this stuff inside the on create method itself. So you don't have to create this separate buttons. I have just created this separate buttons just for your own sake. Now we need to deploy this to Google Play console. So for that, again, I'll quickly show it to you. You just have to click on build, generate sign app bundle or APK, select on Android app bundle, click next. I don't have a key store path. I'll just create a new one. I'll click on this folder icon. Okay, I'll just go back to my application. So here it was my application. I'll just save it there. You can change the name if you want to. Then I will just enter one password. And here also I will enter one password, same password I mean. we just need to confirm the password. Okay, and here we need to enter one password, and here we need to confirm the password. And here you can just give your name. Okay, then click on OK. Then remember my passwords, click on next, and I want it for release mode. I'll just click on create. Now this again will take a little bit of time. In the mean, okay, so it has created this Android app bundle for me, and you can just click on this locate button and it will open it inside a file explorer for you. So here it has created this Android app bundle. Now again, one more thing which I want to tell you. Once you have deployed this Android app bundle to Google Play Console, and if you want to deploy an update, you need to update this particular version code as well as version name every time you make a deployment to Google Play Console. Suppose if I'm deploying it for the second time, I can just make this as 2 and this as 2. If I'm deploying it for third time, then 3 over here and 3 over here. But make sure you click on sync now, and then only you generate the Android app bundle. So hopefully you got the point. Now we'll have to go to Google Play Console. Alright, so I am inside Google Play Console, and I'll just click on this create app option. Once that is done, here I can just enter my app details. So let me check what was my app name. I think it was what Nomadic Nest, right? So I just come over here. So over here I can just type Nomadic Nest. Okay, here it is an app. If you want to select game as well, you can do that. It is a free app. I'll just click on this confirm, and I'll just click on create app. Let's just wait for this to finish. Also in the meantime, the app which you have run it from Android Studio may inside your Android device, make sure you uninstall that app, because now we will be installing it from Google Play Console. So okay, so this is done. Yeah, next we don't have to do all these steps. So the next thing which we can do is just go to test and release, go to app integrity, and we just need to link our project with the Google Cloud project which we have created. So just scroll down, and here you can just click on this link a Google Cloud project, and here you can see it has automatically selected the correct project for me. If it is not selected the correct project for you, make sure you select your project manually by clicking on the drop down and just click on link project. Okay, so it has linked the project as well for me. I think that should be it. Let me go to my cheat sheet one more time. Go to create app. Yeah, then we can just go to test and release again. Here go to testing, and here I will go to let me quickly check one more time if I have done everything correctly or not. Let's just go to app integrity one more time. I've read the docs. I've also integrated Play Integrity API as well. Okay, so yeah, this is store listing visibility. Yeah, we don't need to turn on the store listing because we are still in the testing phase. So here inside testing, make sure you select internal testing so that our app does not have to go through that approval process. And here you can just click on create a new release, and our app will also be updated like it will be approved within an half an hour to 1 hour. And then again, like where was that? I think I lost that particular app bundle. So you can just go to your Android project, app, src, main, not in main, I think it was in build, I guess. Yeah, sorry, go to the build folder, outputs, not even in outputs. I think it is in release. Yeah, it is in release folder, sorry. So you can just go to the release, and then you can just drag and drop this Android app bundle. Do not leave this particular page till your application is updated. Now it is showing me some warnings because I have not enabled R8, so which is fine. Typically you should enable R8 because it does code minification and all that, but I don't want to get into that. So let's just wait. Again, here you can give its release name as 1, and if you want to change the release notes, you can do that as well. Let's just wait for this to finish. Okay, so this has finished. Then just click on next, and I think it will show me some warnings, I guess. Yeah, it is showing me two warnings. Yeah, it is not available to any users. Yeah, we will set the testers, and there is no audio obfuscation file. Yeah, this is fine. And then we can just click on save and publish again. Click on save and publish. Now this will take little bit of time to get published. I think it is within 1 hour. Then for your testers, you can just go to the tester section, and here you can see I have already created all the groups with all my testers. If you want, you can just create a new email list, give it some name, add your testers email id. It will be a Google id only. I have already created this, so I will just select all of this and I'll just click on save. Now from where will your testers get your application? So this is this particular link, so you'll have to copy this link and share it with your testers. Your app will not directly will available on Google Play Store. Like if you open this link, it will ask your tester to accept the invite. They will have to accept the invite, and then it will have the button or an hyperlink saying install the public version of something like that. So you just the tester will just have to click on it and it will redirect them to the Play Store. But if you directly try searching on Play Store, it will not be available. So this link is very important. Make sure you copy this link and share this link with your tester. So I will just wait for half an hour. I will just accept the invite. Half an hour to 1 hour you will have to wait. Once your app is available, you can just download it, and then I will come back and show you guys the output, guys. So here is the output. So I have just went to our test link, I accepted the invite. Then you can just click on this download it on Google Play option. It will open it inside Google Play. So because this app is unreviewed, that's why it is showing something like this. I have already installed the app, so make sure you install the app. Then just click on open. So here is our app. Now I'm mirroring my device, so the output is little laggy, so just bear with me. I will click on get hash. So here you can see I have received our hash. Now I'll click on verify, and here you can see now my app is play recognized. So that's how you can integrate Google Play Integrity API inside your Android application. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comments. Bye.